Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you to John Q's Table Talk. Let's go. Here at Table Talk, everybody's opinions matter, because we only here for one reason, and that's the truth. Cue the truth. So many cases we've been facing, so many kids that have been taken. You got ours and you got on. Some more wells I just can't take it. Never see John hesitate. A hard to go you can't replace. So Table Talk gon' be the place where we break down all the basics. You don't need no reservation, open mind, a little face. That's why we work another case. Kids go missing every day. We know the news, they do their thing, but John gon' come through in the pain. But this is a show for all of us, so let us know just what you think. For Table Talk, it's time to go to work. Let the people know that John is going live. It's time for Table Talk. Yeah. It's time for Table Talk. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you Mr. John Q. Y'all show him some love, man. Yeah.
Let's go to work tonight.
We are live. Oh, yes. We're here for a special table talk tonight. Didn't have this on my schedule, but I thought I'd jump on anyway. Much love to the folks coming into the building. Mr. Boss Blake, my brother. First one in line. My goodness. Busted down, boss. Break open both doors. Let them know we're here tonight. Kasumina, how are you? Good to see you. Laura Croft. I caught your message earlier. Thank you. Marley 13. I know she's around here somewhere. I think she encouraged me to jump on tonight. As many of you do. Good to see the house getting busted up into. Lily Rochelle is in the house. Sweet Pea Baby is in the house. Cindy in the house. Well, hello to you on a Friday night. Man, my days are just booming by. I said I'd save this special table talk. Just go tonight, John. Go tonight. Touch base with you people. Say hello. Let's get a quiet storm going on. Good to see y'all. Jacky Barty up in the house. Miss D Love up in the house. I just came from Boss Blake's house. He had a premiere, a very special one. Y'all missed that. Y'all need to hit him up. Go see that premiere. It's a nice one. Definitely breaking through with some new music, unheard of. He's posting on Boss Blake's channel. Definitely show the brother some love. He's putting it out there. And not familiar, oh, get familiar. Most definitely. Lisa McIntosh, how are you? Good to see you. M. Dijon. Always good to be here at John Q's. Well, thank you. Definitely. Molly 13, much love to you. You inspired me. I'm doing good, Casamina. I am doing good. It's getting cold here in New York, that's for sure. Temperatures are dropping down to 34 degrees during the day now. And Lord knows where we end up tonight. We go down about 29, 24, and it's like, okay, old man winter decided to step in earlier. The New York season, and this is still November. We had a little bit of a snow touchdown, the last couple of days? Late night frost on the cars, and on the property and whatnot. But, we'll get through that as we always do. Good to see everybody. How y'all doing? Hope y'all had a good week. It's been a very busy week indeed for myself and Mr. Boss Blake and Miss 54 Keyz working behind the scenes on an upcoming roundtable we're about to launch off tomorrow night at 7 p.m. on Miss 54 Keyz channel. A lot has been spoken about a specific case that has taken social media by storm. We've been on it. We've been working behind the scenes, and we're going to be doing a very special live on that tomorrow night on 54 Keyz channel. So you don't want to miss that. If you're not subscribed, please make sure that you get there tomorrow night. It's incredible. You come across these cases that have so much mystery behind them, and I only thought that they come around once in a while, like when I first started with the Kanika Jenkins case. So much mystery. Who did it? Who done it? Why? Then you come across another case like the Cash Gurnan case. Mystery. A 4-year-old taken out of their crib late at night in the wee hours of the morning out of Texas. Child ends up deceased several hours later, left in the street, stabbed to death. Why? Because when you take a look at all of these cases, that's the main question you want to get an answer to, is why? Why does all this stuff happen? Dar Jackson is in the house. Hello. Good to see you, Dar. Yes, Mr. Bossman Blake in the house too. Yeah, he got both doors open tonight. Definitely. Good to see y'all busting up in here. But yeah, you ask yourself the question, why? As all of these cases coming about, and they just seem to have so much complications to them. So many moving parts. Different places, different faces, but the same bullshit is attached to them. Why? Crazy as it may seem, but it's good to know that there are some folks on YouTube in these community streets that have a platform to get the message out, try to shed some light on these type of stories and cases that come across our desk. And if you have children of your own, and when I say children, I could be talking about the little ones, or I could be talking about the grown ones. Either way, if you're a parent, they're still your children. And what we see happening on a day-to-day basis, just ongoing, is that somebody's child or children are being affected by the way society exists today. Most certainly. And it's not so much what happens, it's what we do that can make a difference. And having a platform here on YouTube last, going on 4 years now, myself, my own channel, grown it from ground zero to get to where we are today, to be able to shed light on a lot of these horrendous cases that do come about and touch our lives in a very special way. It's good that, everybody hopefully is doing well. Households locked down. Got love and good spirits in the house. Started from there and keep it tight. That's what it's all about. Keeping it tight. California, Ohio, Chicago, Florida, Georgia, Texas, Arizona, Philadelphia, Montana, South Dakota, North Dakota, Arizona, Washington, Baltimore, Connecticut, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky. No matter where you live, it's happening all over the place. If it's not a 5-year-old that goes missing in a homestead backyard and nobody knows where she is, and still to this day has not been found, nor seen, nor heard of, 16, 17 months, or a 25-year-old African American, Daniel Robinson, out of Buckeye, Arizona, who goes to work one day and doesn't come home. Or 2 little boys back out of December 2020, a 3 and 4-year-old. Classic and Sincere, our California city boys that end up going missing out of a backyard. Parents are home. They seem to have gotten away. Only to now find out that both the adoptive parents have been charged with second-degree murder. Why? Why? So it doesn't matter how old you are. Death doesn't care how old you are, what color you are, what language you speak, where you live, what your financial status is, what you eat during the day, or how you sleep at night. Doesn't care. Doesn't care. Yet it shows up in unexpected times and takes people. And we scratch our heads sometimes and go, why? And in the various different ways that it comes, you always ask yourself, why? But it's good to know that while we're alive, number one thing that should always resonate from within ourselves is knowing that it exists and that we should be the best that we can be when we're live, when we're living in the moment. Yesterday is gone. The present exists now. Tomorrow is never promised. Never promised. Shamina Wright is in the house. Much love to you, Shamina. I did get your email. Thank you so much. And hopefully we can find that information, because that is a key part of that particular case that we're going to be doing a special live on tomorrow night on 54 Keyz channel, because that adds to finding out the why of what happened to Shaquella Robinson. 25-year-old, went on a trip to Cabo, Mexico, along with friends, 6 others who joined her, only to find out that 24 hours after she touched down, she's no longer with us. Why? Why? Well, what? Wait a minute. And that story has got complications to it left and right. Left and right. Cold Pepsi, how you doing? Good to see you. Is in the house. And every single time, and my email is getting hit up, or my text messages are getting hit up. John, are you going to cover this case, John? Oh, I said it was all over YouTube already. It's all over Facebook already. This has come out of nowhere. Thank goodness, because there is exposure to it. But, whoa. I said, well, yeah, we're working on it. Oh, you're working on it? Yeah. Yeah, we're doing some things with it behind the scenes right now, trying to get an understanding as to the why. What's going on? Why did this young lady lose her life? She's just getting started. She's just getting started in life. 25, I say 20, 25 years of age. Just get you started in life. You finalize a job. Most people 25 years old, the majority of them still don't know what the hell they want to do. Here you got a young lady that's had a business, putting her life together, doing quite well. Great family. Yeah. Only to find out tomorrow's not promised. She wasn't doing anything to anybody. Well, that'll come out though. All of that's going to come out now because she's no longer with us. And yet the truth will prevail. Kanika Jenkins is no longer with us for 5 years, but the truth will prevail. Cash Gernon, no longer with us, but the truth will prevail in that particular case. Summer Wells is no longer with us to a degree. She hasn't been found or seen. 16, 17 months. Usually when they go that long, you kind of still hope for the best, but you lean more toward the other. The longer it goes, you begin to wonder. But the question that still remains in the back of your mind is why? Why? So it's good to know that I'm in good company with content creators that decided to get together and take a look and dig into these cases to find out as much as we can about the why. Help other people understand how that works. Justice, Miss Justice is in the house. Charity is in the house. Much love to you. Thank you for joining us. Sun Goddess is in the house. Where y'all coming from? Oh, yes, it's late as night. I was just playing that yesterday. Yeah, frenemies. My goodness. You gotta watch these people. You gotta be very careful on who you call a friend. Oh man, back in the I could at least say it. I'm in my 50s. Back in the day when you call somebody a friend, that's a real thing. You got into a fight, they jumped in with you. You was short a buck here and there, they covered you. Those are the ones that invite you over to their house to eat, sleep over, chill out with, relax with, get into trouble with. You name it. They were always there. Always there. Now, You got to do background checks on people. Yes. Yes, Sun Goddess. Yes. Justice for Daniel and Jelani Day. Definitely. You know, there's a young man looking to become a doctor. Looking to become a doctor. All these well-to-dos. It's the hardest thing to do these days is well-to-do in some cases. But when you can do well, damn. There's always other people that tries to make it more difficult for you to live somehow. Get in the way somehow. Step on the hose of progress somehow. Because they may not be doing too good themselves. They say misery loves company. Misery loves company. Miss Roro is in the house. Thank you for joining us. So I decided to do a special table talk tonight. You know, touch base with you. Kind of develop a dialogue. Some things to talk about. Some things on your mind. Some thoughts you can share. Morgan LeFay, excuse me. Morgan LeFay is in the house. What time is it in New York? About 11:23. Good to have you with us, Morgan. Yeah, that's right, boss. We still live by the old school rules, man. Old school. That's why we don't have many friends. Oh, man, they're hard to come by. Really, you know, and you figure, you know, after 10 years of knowing somebody, you think you know. And stuff like that happens. Whoa. Huh. Let me get my phone over here. 10 years. That's heavy. That is heavy. Okay. All right, so I got these two messages here. Which city and which state? Okay. 10 years. Lady Love is in the house. Oh my God. Lady Love is in that building. Now I know tonight's table talk is special. Wow. Long time no see. Hope you and your family are doing well. Yes, yes, yes. I feel your smile. I feel your smile. See, there it is. There it is. I feel your smile, Miss Lady Love. Thank you for joining us. Definitely. And so we have to ask these questions in order to help us identify, you know, some kind of sense out of it. What's going to make sense out of this case regarding Shaquella Robinson? Like Kanika Jenkins, she was surrounded by her friends, went to a birthday party at a hotel out in Rosemont, Illinois. September 8th, 2017. Didn't make it home that night. Why? Everybody else went home but her. There's always some nonsense going on behind the scenes with people, whether it be jealousy, envy, resentment, something. Could be the way you look. Who knows? Could be the way you speak. Could be your financial status, what you have, what you've earned, kind of people you surround yourself with. Damn. all kind of things going in and out of people's minds. But one thing is certain. Everything starts in the mind. So we know where it's coming from. As part of it, it's a big part of it, how one thinks, not only about themselves, but about the world that they live in. It's how they decide what to do for either personal gain of some kind, whether it be tangible or intangible. But it starts there. What are people thinking? In Shaquella Robinson's case, what were they thinking? What were her friends thinking? What on earth were those folks thinking? You can imagine what they're thinking now, after the fact. You can imagine the people in Kanika Jenkins during the time that she was with us, what they're still thinking after the fact, what they're living with after the fact. Has their thinking improved? Or has it been tarnished with what they know? How do you live with those kinds of thoughts? Yeah, toxic people. Toxic energy, toxic people. I couldn't agree more, Sun Goddess. That's right. And we have to be aware. We truly got to be aware of these kinds of people. How does one identify these kinds of people? How can you tell? I gotta let somebody know I'm live so they could pause on the research. I'm telling you, my phone is always going. A wise person recently said on YouTube, some people think they are friends with someone, but they're actually wrong and invest time and care into one-way relationships. I was naive, but she was right. Yeah. Yeah. It's critical for all of us to identify these types of people. We have to carefully pay attention to the people that we surround ourselves with, associate with. I don't care whether you go to school with them, go to church with them, work with them at your job, live next door to you, on top of you, underneath you, shop with you. Could be anybody. Reminds me of the movie The Matrix. You know, Mr. Smith showed up everywhere. And that's who I consider toxic people, a Mr. Smith, if you will. Hopefully your last name is not Smith. I'm not referring to you. And it's not necessarily a Mr. Smith, it could be a Miss Smith. And I'm only using that as a metaphorical name, Smith, let's just say. I know one thing for sure. I'm very careful. I am extremely careful on the people that. I know one thing for sure. I get there. Getting a little feedback here. I'm extremely careful about the people I surround myself with. You know, I have got my family. They're my number one, first priority. Well, God first and then family. Always. And then I'm very, very careful. How many of you can count your friends, true friends, on one hand? One hand. Now we're getting down to the fingers. Miss Lorraine is, Muhammad is in the building. Much love to you, Miss Lorraine. We're just having a one-on-one tonight. Latoya Slater is in the building. Much love. I'm here. Had to order chicken. Heading home soon. My food done. But till then, I'm sharing with my group. Well, thank you. Thank you, Latoya. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. But yeah, how many of you can put them on one hand? Damn, I'm at half a hand now. I know one, I click with one, and let's say 20 years is a record for one. That's here in New York. Just one. Just one. No kidding. I'm on one hand and one finger. You know something? I'm satisfied. I'm good. I tell my daughters the same thing. Don't have too many friends, especially if you have children too. Don't have too many friends. Mm, mm, mm. Too many of them want to get into your life and get into your business and all this other back and forth. Oh, we family. No, we're not. You want to act and pretend like family, but when push comes to shove and the rubber meets the road, where's the line drawn? How do you define a friendship these days? And ever since the Kanika Jenkins case from 2017 till now, that question still remains. How do you define friendship? Is it ever spoken about between the people that are called friends? You have to have a conversation with them in order to get their definition, because everyone's definition and meaning of friendship is different. In light of everything that we've all experienced, it's different. Whether it's online or offline, it's different, but yet important to get definition on. No doubt. Because by getting and knowing the true definition and meaning yourself could save your life, could save someone else's life, the current stage and status in our present society. Back in the day, I was growing up and going to school. I had a bunch of them. I had a bunch of friends. Then that number started to dwindle down, because you never really know who your friend is until you fight them. Till you get into a fight with them, you truly know who you're dealing with. Disagreements, debates, no. Downright dirty. When you come out the other side of that, seem to come out with some knowledge, better wisdom for yourself. Heed that wisdom. Because that's how I was able to educate myself till it came down. John, how do you define friendship? And all these people wanting to be your friend, and you hanging out with them. They leave you at a party. You all messed up. How you getting home? Been through that. Been through that. So sometimes self-education, hard as it may be, gives you the tough lesson to learn to walk away if it's not going too good. If it's not going too good. Yeah. And you got to learn to have your personal life, your personal life. Everybody doesn't have to know everything about what you do, how you do, when you do, where you do, who you do, or anything. Personal. Because people are getting personal with each other and in ways that it's changing the life of the individuals that they're dealing with. Too much TMI, too much information, too much this, too much that. So we have to be careful. We truly got to be careful. Relationships should be reciprocal. Agree, Ro. Good morals. Avoid narcissistic people. Use other people for gain, whether it's money, popularity, etc., 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 etc. I couldn't agree with you more, Ro. And this is where discernment comes in. Personal, spiritual discernment has got to play a very important key factor in your life, because you're the one deciding these things in your life to have. We all do it every day, making decisions to be or not to be, to have or not to have, to get or not to get, etc., etc., etc. And friendships, just like anything else, should be treated in the same way, in the same form that you give it yourself. I think Boss Blake and I, when we go back and forth, treat other people as you would want to be treated yourself. Golden rule. That's that old school stuff, but it's real. It was here before us, it's here now, and it'll be here after we leave. But discernment is the key. Take your time. There's not a fast food joint. People in a hurry all the time, every day, back and forth. Hurry, we got to do this. Now we got to do this. Now we got to do this. Put on your clothes. We got to get out and do that. Whoa, slow down. No one's ever telling you the why about anything. We just got to do this. Follow me, Whoa, really? Why am I following you? Sweet Pea says, my only true friend is God. Better be the first true friend, always. Because God will tell you everything. I'm not here to preach to the choir, so to speak. Just sharing a little bit of personal experience with you about this thing that people just keep flagging around in a lot of these cases. Friendships. Oh, we're friends. We're good friends. Down south, they call them cousins. How many cousins you got? That's cousin so and so. That's cousin so and so. And oh yeah, you got another cousin over here called cousin so and so. Oh man, must have been a lot of people that didn't have TV to have all these damn cousins, huh? Holy smoke! All right, hi cuz. So how does those two cousins have a baby with each other? Well, okay. Let me stop. Let me back up. I'm not going there. I'm not going there. Sometimes people see who people are that surrounds them, but they still give them another chance. Oh yeah, benefit of the doubt. That's where they mess up. That people are who they show you they are. My thoughts. Yes, Cold Pepsi. People will educate you as to how they are every single moment you're with them. That's the truth. That is a fact. I had been through this with so-called friends. My male BFF tried getting someone to bust my head. I definitely left him alone, but he apologized. Then get me to his house, fought me never TF again. Mm, mm, mm. So your discernment plays a very important part in protecting your life when it comes to other people who decide and choose call you a friend. That's what messes up a lot of people because we naturally become complacent as to our definition of friendship, though. We fall back into our definition of friendship and never find out the other person's definition of friendship. We just assume that their definition is similar to ours. I know I did when I was younger. I did. Did the same thing, but learned from it. I learned from it. But yeah, taking a look at you know, Shaquella Robinson's case is just blowing me away. 10-year friendships. These are grown folks now. They've known each other since they were young. They were kids, teenagers. They're hanging out together and partying together and playing together and fighting together, obviously. Sharing people together, most likely. Going places together, doing things together. And you get to a point in life where you end up going someplace and 7 people go and 6 go home. Wait a minute. How does how does that math work? What was that about? Like I tell my children, when you're in a crowd, you're not focused. Stay to yourself. That's where your peace is. Mm. Feel you, Cole Pepsi. If you ask my children about friends, they will say, my mommy said we don't have friends. We have associates. I hear you, Jacky. And yeah, rightfully so. That's what you have. That's what you have. That's what you have. People you associate with. Because push come to shove, when your back is up against the wall and there's a hole underneath you and a rope above you, and you need to make a move, what you gonna do? Because the friend has now turned around and now wants to do something to you. You didn't even know about. And for what? And when you take a look at our society and its overall perspective, you got a whole bunch of drug infiltration in our country, both prescription and non-prescription. You don't know if it's a person behind the wheel of a car or someone pushing a shopping cart in a supermarket. Or standing shoulder to shoulder right by you in church. I have no idea. Not until that moment reveals itself. But you got to know. Preemptively, you have to know. As long as you know your definition of friendship, definitely get the definition of the other person that you're looking to call, possibly, maybe, someone you can relate to. How's that? I won't go too hard on it, but someone you can relate to. How do they relate to those things? How similar are your thoughts concerning things? How in line or in sync are you really? It'll help to get that knowledge and then teach it to your kids, teach it to your family. That's that knowledge that gets handed down from generation to generation to generation. The best way to protect the generation is to give them knowledge, wisdom. It's up to them to decide to accept it or reject it. You're not going to get everything you give them now. Just as a parent, you can give your children as much as they can get, they can take, but they're only going to choose and decide what information is they can apply right away. The rest of it, they seem to shelve somewhere in the back of their mind. When the moment calls for it, they'll remember it. That's for sure. Even though it may that particular event may happen years later. Yeah, so and so said that. You remember? Yeah. What is that? What is that saying? I told you so. I told you so. So yeah, our first line of defense is our children. Discernment is a key. And the second line is definition. Make sure that your definition and the other person's definition actually meet and click in the right ways. And then the third is visible action. What you speaks, what you say is so important now, but what you do speaks so loud. What you say, I can't understand. And that's going to be the third level of helping you to discern. Watch what a person does versus what they say, and the truth will always be there. That'll help. But I'm your friend. Really? From what I've seen you do, wait a minute. What you talking about? Oh, you thought I wasn't looking? Are you sure you're ready for this? I had a BFF from 5th grade until senior year. We had a fallout, and that was it. It broke my heart. Yeah. And over what? Now you figure, let's get to the core. Over what? Now here we get closer to the why now. Because this tells the why. Over what? And it better be something important. It better be something that moves heaven and earth. Important. But you know something? The ironic thing about it is that it never is. It's always something petty. It's always something petty. Back in the day, people had respect. Yep. Nowadays, everybody is for self. That's why I stay to myself. No, I hear you. Well, that's the program that's out there called self-program. You can have anything in life you want. Anything. We're the rules that go with that. We're the principles that line up with that. If that part is missing, then what are they truly saying? You can have anything in life you want. Yeah, just go out and get it. Even if you have to take it. Huh? No morals connected to it. No consequences connected to it, whether they be positive or negative. And that's crazy, but it's real. That's right. The actions have to match the words. That's called being congruent. When behavior, attitude, thinking are all in compliance and in sync with each other, and that's what you see, guess what? Truth is there. If it's out of kilter, you know that too. Because if somebody says one thing and then does another, wait a minute, that don't match. Look out. And then they keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. And yet you're witnessing it. Say, no, that ain't right. Yo, that ain't right. No, don't say nothing. Shit. And there goes self. So you know what they're after. They're after self. Okay, time for me to go home. I gotta go. I'll talk to you later. Now you reevaluate. Number 4. You got to do it right away. Don't put it off. Reevaluate and you get your answer. After all that's been laid on the table, and then you reevaluate. Evaluate to reevaluate. Once you get there, you'll know exactly what to do. Now you're looking to discern. You're looking for congruency. You're looking for that what you do speak so loud, what you say, I can't understand. And you go to evaluate that. It'll protect you, and then you teach it. Because the world's crazy out there. We're seeing it pop up on what, social media, on the news every day, every single day. Leanne Ferguson is in the house. Gail Thornberry is in the house. Samuel Avila is in the house. Welcome back, Samuel. Good to see you. Absolutely. Got Miss Justice holding it down. Thank you so much for holding the chat down. Mr. Boss Blake. I don't need a whole bunch of moderators doing something real simple. You know, we keep a respectful community here on my channel. For those of you who have definitely been back and forth and know, yeah, we don't have all that chaos here. You take this as a blessing. I do. I've gone to a number of channels on YouTube, and it reminds me of the people that I sometimes see in real life over here in New York. Damn, that dude sounds just like the dude I just left at the supermarket. Damn, she sounds just like the woman that I used to work with over at the job I used to have in Queens, etc., etc., etc. Because it's a program. When people don't know what to do and they have no plan in place to do what it is that they discern themselves, yeah, boy, look out. My dad used to ask me, well, what are you looking to do 5 years from now? What am I looking to do for? Yeah, well, where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Gave me food for thought. I didn't have the answer right away. Went back and told him the answer. Well, I want to do this, and I want to have my education completed here. I want to be able to have my own home, my own car, bank accounts, make good money, live decently, in a good neighborhood, get along with people, and hopefully they'll get along with me. Okay. All right. So now what? Okay, go do it. Go do just that. You got your roadmap. Go do that then. Follow your word. Follow your picture, your vision of what it is that you believe is the important things in your life that you want to accomplish. All right, Dad. That was it. You have to teach no birds and bees and flower in the trees and the moon up above and all this stuff and the connection to love. No, you find that out along the way. You attract everything you become in life. It starts with you. It starts with your mind, your thinking, your spirit. That which lives inside of you also lives outside of you as well. And it should be, because you are no more than a reflection of your own thoughts in life. I don't know. That's, I'm breaking it down. Because life is no more than a reflection of your own thoughts. Whatever you think in your daily life, in your daily way, and your daily living is a reflection. It's outside of you. Just take a look at your home right now. Whose thoughts are those? Yours or somebody else's? Here you get the answer right away. You put all that work in. You did all that. Man, if I could go back to my 18-year-old self. You did all that. That's right, D-Love. Discernment. It's part of it. I'm not saying it's, it's but it's a major important part of it. And it's within our power to employ and deploy at any given time, any given moment in our life. We just have to do it, let's just say, more expeditiously. We have to do it consistently. That's right, boss. Somebody switched the rules somehow. Yeah. External programming has taken over. People allow it to. A lot of it. Whether it comes through movies, whether it comes through peer pressure, the world without, I'd like to say, the world outside of you, doing the same thing. Doing the same thing. Now, growing up in Brooklyn when I was younger, used to be gangs out there. There's still gangs out there, but I'm not there. Used to be the Tomahawks and the Ghetto Brothers, and let's see, they had the Sex Boys. This is out in East New York, Brownsville, Brooklyn. Every time you turn around, it would be gang conflict. Used to be physical fights in the streets with colors. With colors. And it was gang related because, they were out there, flashing and promoting their recruiting, all kinds of stuff. Me, I kept my eye on it, but it only gave me information on what to stay away from. And that exists today. Just different names, different folks for different strokes. But it exists all over the country. You call them M13s and all this other stuff. It still exists. But when you have your picture, your mind picture, your vision of what it is you want to do, that's what you focus on. And do just that. That's what my father said. Now go and do it. That's what you said. Now go and do it. All right. That's it. That's right. People need to know the difference in what's important and what's not. D Love says, how many cousins you got? My mom wouldn't let me have friends. Seems every time they entered my house, I'd go to school and they'd want to fight me. My mom had us with the best of life. Their mom was an alcoholic, drugger, etc. They got jealous. Oh, yep. And you really don't have to say too much. People think that, you have to answer to everything and to everyone. No, you don't. The only person you have to answer to is yourself. Get that answer first and then prove your action with silence. Move about. Now, these days, that's the toughest thing to do because everybody wants to be up in your face. Everybody's up in everybody else's grill. And that's dangerous. Because my grandmother used to say, never wear your feelings on your sleeve because you're letting everybody know what you're thinking. Y'all heard that before? Don't wear your feelings on your sleeve because you let everybody know what you're thinking. And there's some folks on YouTube that don't mind putting all their feelings on their sleeve because they haven't gotten the other part of it. They will curse you out, block you, talk about you, dox you, all kinds of stuff. Non-physical, but still, there are consequences to those things. But yeah, that's how people are. And it just gives me information. I just sit back and watch it just for about 5 minutes because I know where it's going already. I move on. I see where this is going. No value, no production. No value production here. Let me go elsewhere. I can't learn anything. See? And that was one of the main keys I found out about Boss Blake. Learn something. Learn something. To know something that you didn't know before, and to take that value and impress it upon your life, and then create from it something better. Learn something. Pay attention. Boom. And that's one of the key elements of being able to discern this nonsense is pay attention. We can find out real easy through our 5 senses, but the one that's really going to tell you is your heart. It's that gut feeling inside you. Uh-oh, this is wrong. Uh-oh, something's about to happen. I don't want to be a part of this. Move. I'll see y'all. Just walk away. Nobody needs an explanation at all until you're ready to give them one later, when you know you're going to be safe from all the bullshit. Yeah, jealousy and envy is people are playing the part. That's it. People are playing the part. Been there, done that in past life. So-called friends, yeah. Because it's so easy. Like I said, definition. I tell my girls, say, okay, my friend. Oh, who's your friend? What's her name? Okay. Did she define friendship to you? Huh? Did she define friendship to you? Did you ask her what is her definition of friendship so that you know what her definition is? What is her vision of friendship? What is her picture of friendship? Okay, next time you see her, I suggest you ask her and listen carefully and pay attention carefully because she's going to tell you the truth. You can't make this shit up. Neither can they. Why you ask me that? Uh-oh. You stuck? No, I'm just wondering why you asked me, what is my definition of friendship? Now, I was just curious. Okay, so what is your definition of friendship? Have the conversation. You'll be amazed on what you find out. Then all you got to do is watch, pay attention. Because the next step is what you do. Speak so loud, what you say, I'm not going to understand later. Oh. All right, Sammy. Sammy's in the building. Yeah, so. But it's good to see all of y'all in here tonight. I just thought I'd jump on and do a special table talk with you. And I'm going to do this since I started the dialogue tonight. I'm going to drop the link. Anybody want to come up and extend your thoughts on this? Expound some of your thoughts about tonight's table talk. Because this story with Shaquella Robinson is touched me to say, this just this friendship thing. What is it about this friendship thing that goes wrong with people to where one loses their damn life over it? And the thing that kicked in was 10 years. These people knew each other, showed up with each other. 10 years. Come on. Whoa. So, all right. So we got Gail up here.
My thoughts of friendship is being honest with people. Like, say you want to talk to your friend and they're busy, they should tell you, well, I'm busy right now. Could you call back later, or give you a time for them to call, for you to call back, or, you know, just being there for each other and being honest. Try to be as honest as you can.
Right. Do you think people should have the conversation of defining their friendship? What is their definition of friendship?
Maybe, yeah, it depends on the person, I guess. But yeah,
Ah,
I think so.
which person, you or them?
Both of you together as a friendship should be.
Mm-hmm. What is your definition of friendship?
Well, somebody you can trust,
Okay.
trustworthy, and honest. If sometimes it's hard to be honest with friends. It is,
Mm-hmm.
depending on the circumstances.
Right.
But you should try to be as honest as you can without hurting someone else's feelings, or something like that.
Okay. And what
You know.
circumstances would you look for the most honesty in?
Well, let's say your friend does something that bothers you all the time. I'll give you an example.
Okay.
My friend drives me to Walmart all the time,
Okay.
and she always gets her shopping done. I mean, fast. And sometimes she don't even go in the store, but she
Hmm.
calls me every 5 minutes to see what I'm doing. Nonstop, that phone will ring, and it's hard to do the shopping when the phone rings every 5 minutes to see what you're doing.
Right.
That's
Hmm.
just plumb ridiculous. And
Okay.
sometimes I've ignored her. I tried to let it go, but it bothers me.
Hmm.
I feel I should be able to open up and just say, look, uh, you call me every 5 minutes. It's hard to get shopping done.
Okay. So, is it something that you feel it's easy to tell her right then and there, or just something that?
Well, I'd rather wait till we got home and tell her. She's my ride. You know what I mean? If she gets mad, then I'm
Well,
screwed.
she'll
I
leave
don't
you
want to
right
screw
where you
myself.
stand, right? Okay.
You know what I mean?
Call a cab.
I do want to announce something if you don't care.
Depending on the
Well,
subject
there's a
matter.
survey thing through Kern County on the West Boys,
Okay.
and it was confirmed illegal. Crenshaw did a story on it. And if anybody out there received one of these surveys,
Mm-hmm.
to contact the Kern County Secret Witness Line, the Bakersfield Police, or the District Attorney's Office. These are not legal surveys, and there is some illegal stuff going on with the survey thing.
Is it trying to obtain people's personal information or something?
Yes, and once you link into it, it's like inviting them into your home.
Oh, damn.
And they say this, you can, anybody that's interested can watch her live for more information. But if you received one of these surveys, please contact the police, the Secret Witness Line, or Bakersfield District Attorney's Office.
Okay, so now is that coming in
And do
physical
not do the
mail?
survey,
Is that coming in
because
physical
once you
mail or
link in,
email?
it's like inviting them to your front door.
Right, right. So is this physical
The survey's
mail?
from somebody at West One.
West One. Okay. Is this an
Yeah.
email? Is this an email?
Yeah,
type?
they said they obtained emails through the Kern County taxpayer informational services, and they even implicated the Superior Court of Kern County involvement in the survey, saying they needed the information for Kern County Superior Court.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even it's an illegal email or an illegal survey.
It's illegal.
It's not even real. They're just wanting information, and they're wanting to tamper.
Right. Okay.
It's illegal. It's a federal offense, I think. I'm not sure.
So somebody's fishing out there, so to speak.
Yeah, claiming to be from West One.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, Gail. Thank you for
So
that.
if anybody receives an email, please contact the police, Bakersfield Police, Secret Witness Line, or you can contact the District Attorney's Office of Kern County. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you much for the information. Thank you for coming up and sharing.
You're
that with
welcome.
us. We're going to get some
Bye.
other people's responses and thoughts tonight. Much love to you, Gail. Got to be careful. And Samuel, yeah, you had mentioned something up here. Only way you know your friend, you have a million fight and always forgive you and never get violent. There's a big word in there, Samuel. I like the way you structured that. You know that because that goes with the core principles of morals. I'm gonna jump way down here because I'm way behind in the chat. As for that's forgiveness. I wanted to ask too, because I know my brother's he gonna blow tonight's live up. We're gonna let him up here in a second.
You goddamn right.
Oh, okay. I forgot you had the keys. No. Come on up.
You know I got the keys in here, man.
I know you do. I said, okay. I'm gonna let him up in a second. I said, wait a minute, he got the keys. Boop, there he is.
Well, go ahead and say what you was going to say, man.
Yeah, no, I was about to say one of the most important things from the elements of discerning and being congruent is forgiveness. You know. Now I'm gonna take a survey of the chat. Let me get down to the bottom of this. Okay. Survey in the chat. When it comes to various situations pertaining to this thing called friendship, when things don't go right, they go wrong, they go left, it gets serious, it gets deep. You've gone to a place in the friendship where you haven't gone before. And feelings are definitely on fire. and you have to make a decision to cut loose from it. When it comes to forgiveness, who do you forgive? Yourself first, or do you forgive them first? You can write self or the word them. Let's see what shows up. Obsidian, how you doing, love? All right. Obsidian says myself. Miss Justice says them. Lady Love says self. Lorraine says self. Come on, people. We got at least 30 people up in here. Who are you going to forgive first? Yourself or them? D Love says myself. Jacky says them. You can't do one without the other, Leanne Ferguson says. Kasumina says self. I hear you, Cold Pepsi. Okay. All right. Those are the only answers we're getting out of here. Yeah. That's one for you. Which do you do? Because you have to make a decision. Anytime friendship goes left or right, it's not going the way it should. You're out of synchronicity. And there's some feelings that are definitely on fire. And you have to make a decision to break it, break off, break from it. And you got these pictures flashing in your brain about the friendship, the good, the bad, the ugly. You feel in some way, shape, or form that you failed because it went that way. Most people do, especially if it was a close one, especially if time grew that friendship. But that is part of the equation. It's forgiveness. It's an important part. Forgive yourself first. And I like what you can't do one without the other. Who said that? Let me go back. Because, yeah, they have to go hand in hand. But yes, Mr. Boss Blake is on panel. He's definitely going to share something deep about the topic of friendships and some principles and morals. Mr. Boss, how you doing?
Man, I'm good, man. This is
Oh, okay.
great
I
topic.
just thought I'd jump on here and do a special live, almost, connect with the folks that come out to connect with me. It was good to have you, as always.
Appreciate you for having me, even though, I just came in this month, Open the door, John.
Yeah, definitely. You got the golden key. You got the golden key. You're in the golden room where the tables are.
Um, when it comes to friendships, I put in the chat that people use the word loosely. And we were talking about the old school values and morals that we had back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people in here can relate, maybe some can't. But nowadays, people are really just looking to use you. It's the truth. I put up a short on my page yesterday. Shout out to Lorraine for sending it to me. You know, you have to know the difference because everybody that you think your friend ain't your friend. Some of them just come to get what they can get from you and go.
Mm.
You have to see the movement, watch their movements. You know, if you find yourself doing more for them because you consider them a friend, and the things that you do for them, they can never do for you, that's a sign. Now, one thing I do hate, but it is the truth, is the saying, I don't know if you guys heard this, but you can't expect the you out of somebody else. You don't know what I mean? Let me break that down.
Mm.
You can't expect for somebody else to do what you would do in a friendship. Now, even if it's something great, and you know, say for instance, a friend needed to borrow some money, light bill due, rent due, you give it to them. You know, maybe a year later, you find yourself in the bind. And you know good
Mhm.
and damn well they just hit the lotto, and you ask to borrow some money to pay your rent, and they find an excuse not to give it to you. Next thing you know, you find out through a mutual friend, and I'm just making this story up. This is not true. I'm a
Okay.
good storyteller. I'm a very good storyteller. You find out that they loaned somebody else the money. How would that make you feel?
Mm.
It's like, well, damn. You don't want to say, look what I did for you. You don't want to do that because you did it out the kindness of your heart. But that's gonna be the first thing you think, like, well, damn, you couldn't do me this favor? It should go,
Mhm.
it should go without question. That's what real friends do. You know what I'm saying? So if you start to see those signs, cut ties. You ain't gotta, be evil to them and rude to them and cuss them out. You now know how to handle them. You
There you
feel what I'm
go.
saying?
There you
It's
go.
long, what they call it, that long handle spoon. Yeah, you eat from
Yeah.
this. So
There
yeah,
you
that's
go.
that's how I feel about
That's
it, man.
solid right there. That's solid. And that's when you can discern that, like I said, the truth is always going to just roll right out from it,
Yeah,
and will not mislead you at all. And it's the best way to protect yourself against, this fake friend fable aspect, that rears its head. You just don't know when it's going to, with whom it's going to, at any time it's going to. But
yeah,
once you see the evidence of something that you feel, your sensory acuity that's built inside of your system that God gave you, once that bell goes off, bing, okay, you better listen.
don't ignore it. Please don't ignore it.
Yeah,
A lot of people will question themselves saying I'm being too hard. No, just like you hear a lot of women say, I know my worth. I know my value. I know what I bring to the table.
there
And
you
if I'm
go.
bringing this to the table and you can't bring nothing to the table, you just eating off me, bro. It don't work that way.
Hmm.
You feel me? So that's how I see it, and I see it happen on a daily basis with a lot of people, whether they're my friends or not. And I'm watching another friendship, but I've been done like that several times. Because one thing I can say about myself is I take pride in being a good friend. I ain't gonna lie to you because I ain't scared of you. So if you don't like the truth, then you're in the wrong friendship. Now I ain't gonna say anything to hurt your feelings. You know what I'm saying? Because I think
I
twice.
think, and I
I
think
think
that's what, and not to cut you off, boss, you bring up a very good point there too. I think that's where people misconstrue that point right there, and they begin to take it personal rather than try to learn from an outside perspective as to what you mean.
right,
Especially if it's a left and right type of situation, and a person's being sensitive, they will automatically defend themselves. Defenses go up. I got to protect my self-esteem now because you're saying something about me I never heard
Mhm.
say. you know so now you've got to deal with that element, and that's
right,
part of the sermon too. It's a very important part to deal with that element. Oh shit, they're mad. Wait a minute. Whoa, back up, slow down, stop before you go any further. let me define what I'm saying. how,
And you
how
know,
do you how do what that I say? What meaning are you getting from that? Well, it sounds like, and see, once you ask that question, now you're asking for definition once again, aren't you?
mm-hmm.
In what way are you taking that to mean what you're feeling right now? And let them talk and shut the hell up because they're going to tell you the truth. Well, it sounds like you're saying that I'm a this or I'm a that. And I'm not equal to you or something of that nature. Oh, okay. Now, if it's part of it, you'll say, oh, that's only part of it.
Right. And
But
you
you
know, I'm
but
sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, but let me give you the meaning of what I was saying so that you understand it. Now you can lay out what you mean.
Right.
Give
Right.
your definition to them, and that's why it's critical. As I said earlier in the live, it's not a hard question to ask, especially if that's what you're going to look forward to in having someone in your life that you can call a friend, but it should be defined. And
Right.
if it gets into troubled waters, go back to that aspect of it, because that's where clarity needs to exist between the two in order to have the friendship to begin with.
Right. And you know, when you said, they need an explanation. Right then and there for me, and just I'm speaking only for myself, if they don't understand you, because friendship definitely is communication and understanding. If they don't know you, they don't understand you, then you got to question the friendship. Because if I say something to you, you know what I'm saying, and you don't, you take it the wrong way, or you're like, what the hell you mean by that? I meant exactly what I said. You know what I'm saying? With my close friends, they don't question nothing I say because they know what I mean. And the same thing with them. I understand. If I don't understand you, we had some lack of communication somewhere where we didn't discuss certain things throughout our friendship. And that causes problems because if I say, man, why are you doing that? You finna fuck up your life. Man, who the
Mhm.
fuck you talking to? Like, what? I'm trying to help you.
Right.
Sometimes tough conversations have to happen. If you can't deal with a tough conversation without getting in your feelings, you ain't no friend. You're a sucker. You can't deal with constructive criticism. Hey man, listen. John Q and 54 gave me the business last night. Like seriously. Seriously. I was sitting over here in the corner like, oh goddamn. But I had to understand they were trying to help. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what I think I know, stop having tunnel vision and learn to listen. You got 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Listen twice as much as you talk. You feel me?
Mm.
But I ain't gonna stay on here long, man. I just want to go
That's
vent to
heavy.
myself, bro.
That's heavy. No. You can stay. Obsidian, you want to come up? I mean, I dropped the link. You had too many characters to type. I know. When you run out, you gotta keep your in mind and keep typing.
And another thing,
Yeah.
if something happened and you're wrong, it don't make you weak because you apologize. That make you a better person. That's a problem that a lot of people have. That pride will fuck you up.
Mm-hmm.
If you wrong, you wrong. Accept it and move on. Because if you don't apologize, you think that's gonna fix the situation? No. A lot of people know they messed up and they'll try to sweep it under the rug and act like nothing never happened. No, that don't work with me. Because I'm gonna let you know, until we solve this, we ain't gonna have no basic good friendly conversation. No, we gotta solve this first so it don't happen again.
Right.
Yeah, damn all that.
Once again, dialogue and communication are important. You made a very, very good point right there. And it's being willing to communicate, not shut off communications, but being willing to communicate. It's helped me in my life. Sometimes the answers that you're looking for are not instant. They're not going to come in a millisecond.
Right.
Some answers will when they're expedient, and then there's some answers you have to wait for. Either way, you're going to get your answer. Either way.
Right.
And that's where time is your friend. That's where you can use time as your friend. And then you can be the best judge. Because once again, you have the power. It's going to fall right back on you. So, do I go forward? Or do I pause here for a minute? Is this message positive, negative? Is it about me? Is it something I need to say? Is it something I need to do? Do I have to correct something? Self-evaluation. It's a part of the eval cycle. Evaluate to reevaluate. But it all plays a very important part. Discernment being the top, because you're going to get it. Even after you leave this live, you got to discern, a lot of different things. How your day is going to go tomorrow, what you're going to wear, what you're going to cook, what you're going to eat, how the day is going to go, things that you can control. Those things that you can't control, don't try to control. This is where those principles will help you.
Right.
Pay attention, listen carefully, stay vigilant, and pay careful attention on who's talking to you, who's trying to communicate to you, and in what way they're communicating to you. They're trying to do something with you, for you, or against you. And that's going to play a very important part. Then if you can't make that decision right then and there, you don't force yourself to. Say, okay, let me pause on that for a minute. In the old days, they used to say, "I'll sleep on it."
Yeah. And my grandma used to say, I'll wait till the cool of the evening.
Yeah, from the heat of the day. Yep.
For real.
That's it.
But, people just got to, if you take pride, I know pride can be looked at as a bad thing when you got too much of it that makes you stubborn. But when you take pride in being a good person or being a good friend, you're going to make sure you remain solid with them at all times. And if you do something to them that you didn't know bother them, then that's just something you didn't know. Mm-hmm. Ain't nothing wrong. My fault. I didn't know that bothered you. I won't do that again. My fault. That don't make me weak. That makes me a man.
Makes you understanding, yes. And that's what the book of Proverbs opens up with. If you get anything in life, get understanding.
Absolutely.
Anything in life, get understanding. And this is for you, yourself. And that understanding belongs to you, not for everybody, just yours. Because that's God giving you what you need and what you require at that moment for yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And when you can get there, you have some peace with it. And then you can watch the world without, because it's going to be far different than the world within. You'll have more control of the world within because it's your thoughts. And then you'll know what to do and how to deal with the world without. Because the world without has got a lot of people looking at a lot of different things, twisting their head left and right, 360 on a daily basis, looking at everything, buying everything, having everything, not having everything, and all the stuff. And it pulls at people's desires. It pulls at people's thoughts. And once again, that's where all this stuff originates from, is thought.
Yep.
All the stuff originates from there. The fights that, the fight or fights that Shaquella Robinson, had been through just, on this case, several weeks ago, popped up almost out of nowhere. She was with people she trusted. Yet the result of that produced itself. And now everybody else went home. 6 people went home and she didn't. The same thing with Kanika Jenkins, everybody else went home, but she didn't.
Her best friend sat there and watched her just get demolished. And just like her father said, Quella wasn't a fighter. If he understood and knew his friend, He knew she was not gonna fight back. Why you sit there and let the girl get beat up like that? Somebody should, man, look here. Let me chill out.
I mean, and if you notice in the videotape, that was played, that got all of our attention, she wasn't fighting back.
She wasn't. And you hear the dude say, Quilla, at least fight back. And she said, no.
Yeah.
Right then and there, somebody should stop that fight.
Yes.
Nah, but a lot of people get off on other people's misery and pain. That's what the world have come to today, in case y'all haven't noticed that.
That goes back to the program. Yep.
It's crazy.
That goes back to the program. We're used to seeing it on TV, movies, anywhere we go. It's become the norm. But inside spiritually, it's unacceptable. And we know that. We know it. Now it takes a physical action to either step into it and try to give some correction to it, or do nothing. Hey, it's not affecting me, so I mean, it's none of my business. That it goes that language that supports the reasoning and the rationale, the rationale behind that, which makes it worse. Till it shows up at your front door or in your household or right next door in your neighbors. Anytime these things go off. But once again, like I said, we got the power to choose how we're going to respond, not react, because the world's got us reacting. How we're going to respond. And responding also takes thought.
Hold on, let me ask Rock, the creator, this question. You said you think that man was the reason the girl attacked Quetta. Which man you talking about? You talking about her best friend or the dude that was saying fight back? Because it was two dudes there during that time, and the rest of them were females, I believe, because the other dude didn't get there till the next day, supposedly.
Yeah, because we know that there was a female there, and she was recording the fight.
Malik, yeah, Malik.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Sweet, shut up, Jason. He's sweeter than blood meat. At least fight back. Won't you go help? You a woman, go help. I mean, shut up, Jason. I'm gonna get down, man. I'll be in the chat, man. I appreciate you having me, man.
Oh man, thanks for jumping up, man.
No problem, man.
Oh wow. Yeah, but but we're learning some things. And like I said, tomorrow night we're going to be over at 54 Keyz' house, and we're going to be discussing this case as it has unfolded, what resolution possibly can come from it, and we hope that the culprits are arrested, which would be the justifiable end result of it. Everyone was responsible for everyone being there, and everyone was responsible for everyone coming home from there, especially in a sovereign country. Yeah, so it'll be 7:00 p.m. Eastern time, Shamina. 7 p.m. Eastern. It will be the round table looking into the Shaquella Robinson case. What happened? Why didn't she come home? What was the cause? Were there preconceived thoughts before they got there? And remember, that's where it all stems from. So they had to be. No one stepped in to stop this fight, this altercation, this assault. Thought, again, had to be. Producing the results that it produced. And then, watch this now. Here's a gut punch. Same people who were there came back and told the parents a story, an entirely different story. Thank you, Miss Justice, for dropping 54 Keyz channel in there. An entirely different story. Now, once again, why did they do that? When that wasn't true. When it wasn't true. What did they hope to gain by telling the wrong information? To isolate themselves from any possible involvement or cause of what happened? Kind of hard to do that when you were there, huh? It's kind of hard to do that when you were there. This thing went viral. You had to know about it more intimately than anybody else on the planet at the time it was occurring, and yet they did nothing. See, once again, decision, choice. Do I do something about this or do I leave it alone? Nobody did a damn thing. Let that girl get injuries far beyond what they could possibly conceive of at the time that this incident was occurring, which caused her death. And it really touched me to hear her father on a Facebook interview. I'm sure that you guys know about North Carolina Beat doing that Facebook interview, 1 hour long interview with her dad, as he tried to explain what was being explained to him from Shaquella's mother during the time they had that conversation. So the whereabouts of their child and what happened and who she heard that information from. It's incredible. There's a family that's lost a family member under the guise of a lie. Of a lie. That's just like Monifa telling everybody, oh, Kanika's missing. How she's missing when you were just with her. Go figure that out. How is she missing when you were just with her? What are you talking about? That's a friend. Those are the ones you have to be careful about. The ones that don't fly straight. Because when they come back that crooked, chances are, they had a hand in it. And she has to live with that for the rest of her life, for as long as that life is going to live. And once again, karma is going to play a very important part, because what you do, what you send out does come back. Not right away, in some cases. Not right away. It'll select the time and day and moment. And when it does, you can't stand there and have a question mark over your head to say, why did that happen to me? Oops. There were consequences unpaid. Let's just say it was a bill that was unpaid from a long time ago and showed up at the door. Now you got to pay. Because you wasn't right then, and you damn sure are not right now. So hopefully, the justice that needs to prevail here will prevail just the way it should, in a straight line. To hold those people who didn't do a thing to stop that altercation, that assault. The consequences have to be addressed. What if it was their child? See, once again, thoughts they didn't have at the time it was happening. What if this was your child being assaulted like this in a villa, a very expensive villa down in Mexico. These things don't run a buck. This ain't no hotel stay. We saw a villa that cost excuse me. Let me get this number right, because we had to shake our head at this one. $35,000 a day. A villa to rent. A timeshare villa to rent. $35,000 a day. I mean, it's a magnificent villa. $35,000 a day. Most people here in America are having a tough time paying the rent or their mortgage. But we're talking about a villa in a sovereign country, $35,000 a day. 2 butlers, housekeeping, 2 chefs, amenities galore. Okay, that's stuff you see in those movies. $35,000 a day. That's what kind of place this is. Yeah, it is. It's crazy. People got $35,000 a day. Who are you talking about? The drug dealers? Movie stars? Celebrities? Corporate multi-billionaires? Because that's who can afford that drop in the bucket. Hell, $35,000. The only thing I can do is look at the picture. How's that? Just look at the picture. We're going to share some of those pictures with you tomorrow night. We're going to share a lot of those pictures with you tomorrow night. Most certainly. Leanne Ferguson is in the house. Leanne.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Good. I haven't been here in a while. I've been helping out on Difficult Research Channel.
On whose channel?
So Difficult Research. You know, the Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell.
Difficult Research. Okay. How you been?
Yeah, I'm good. It's just that you guys are usually on when I'm over there. So I was happy to see you on tonight because they're not on.
Yeah, no, I just decided, I had that feeling that, something, I'm gonna do a special table talk tonight. I know it's Friday.
That's time to do it.
So, and I was encouraged. My Molly 13 encouraged me. I said, yeah, I'll do it. I'm going tonight. I just popped up and everybody's like, oh, wait a minute. John Q's doing a table talk on Friday? Okay, let's get over there and find out what he's talking about.
I think that's the best time to do it.
Yeah. So, yeah, but that's a wonderful thing about having a program like Table Talk and working around my casework and everything is that I can connect when my time frees up, because I've been busy in the background working on casework and stuff like that. And I said, I'm going to take a break. I need to connect with my people, say hello, see how everybody's doing, let them know what the temperature here in New York is and all this other stuff, and get into a conversation. And I brought up friendship tonight as part of the conversation. We've been going over some casework concerning the Shaquella Robinson case, young 25-year-old who lost her life vacationing with 6 other friends of hers and didn't come home from that visit in Mexico.
Trip,
and they came back and said she passed away from alcohol poisoning. And when the result of that turned out to be a broken neck and a mad fight that went viral on social media.
I was listening to you talk about friendship and all that, and there's been a lot of cases lately here where it's been like that, where they're letting their friends. Well, I don't want to say like put anything on anybody that they're not responsible for, but I'm just saying it's not something you do just for your friends. You're supposed to watch out for others in general, and I think the biggest thing that we have as far as friendship and getting in the way, is we don't allow people to be themselves, even if we say we do. So I might be completely different than most people, but I could have the best intent. I can have more pure intent, like the best interest, or I could offer certain things that other people can't. But because I don't do the same things or look like the same people or whatever, I might be overlooked. And we all have these biases in our heads already. We don't even let it get to a point where we can see one another for one another anymore. Like, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Starting to hit it.
Yeah. And so, I know this has been, it's been an issue for, it's probably been since the beginning of time. But what I'm just getting at is it's something that's always kind of bothered me, is because that's one of the most essential, like, beautiful things of life, is seeing one another for who we are. But if I'm not allowed to be tenderhearted or caring, or to make a mistake in believing somebody, or, I'm not a tough person. I'm going to be the person that is like upset and believe in somebody and still be disappointed when things don't work out. Or I'm going to be the person that's mad because I believe somebody could do better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to be who I am. And
Right.
I know, just like I know I can always come on here and talk to you. And the same thing with Bossman, even though I haven't been on his channel forever, just because I've been doing this other stuff, I feel like I could still come and be myself here, but and I'm still respected for who I am. And that's not
And
like
that's how you feel when you're able to come and join us and stuff like that. That's a wonderful feeling, isn't it?
Yes, and that's what I see. Even though I don't know, I'm like, I don't need to be up in your guys' like faces to sorry, my cat's on the move.
Okay.
So like,
But do you think, let me ask you this, because it goes to some of the points that I was making during the live and everything. Should one person be responsible for a friendship, or should both people be responsible for the friendship?
no, it should be both people.
It should be both people. In the chat,
a lot of times,
I just want to throw the same question out there to the chat. Same question applies to the chat. Let's see what we got coming up here. Should one person be responsible for a friendship that is built, or should two people? Just type a 1 for 1 or 2 for 2 as an answer. Or should two people be responsible for the friendship if one is created between two?
I will say this with that question. Now, sometimes people have there's different gives and takes in relationships. So I might be better at doing one thing and somebody else, a friend, might be better at another. But if you talk to them and say, hey, and you could talk about it and be like, come to an understanding, and that's how it is, but you also are working at the same time on those things.
Goes to
sometimes,
communication.
Yeah. Yep. And it's just it's different if it's a polarized thing where it's like all on you versus somebody that may carry the weight in certain ways than somebody else, if that makes sense.
Right. And that's exactly how the chat's responding right now. They've drawn up a lot of twos in there to say two people who decide to have a friendship are responsible for that friendship. And I fully agree. They are responsible. Now you talk about 7 people as friends for 10 years. Who should take the most responsibility of the friendship? One person?
At 7 people, though, you're getting into the herd, kind of like a herd mentality, though, too.
Now you're getting into that group friendship kind of thing, you know?
And that's where you have to be really careful, too, because, listen, if I'm friends with you, even though if I'm friends with somebody, even if my friend is not friends with somebody else, I'm still going to watch out for that person's back, unless they've like tried to murder them or something. I mean, you know what I mean?
Right.
I'm still going to watch out for everybody's best interest, even if it's just because if somebody doesn't like another person, that's stupid not to, like, I need a better reason than that. And my friends better know that that's how it works, because that's kind of how I go and what I expect.
Yes. Okay. So that goes to the universal principle of friendship. Treat people like you would want them to treat you. That's a
Well,
universal principle, and even as a group, an army, a classroom, a platoon, a battalion, or whatever, these large groups of people, have to operate under a certain principle that holds it together, that makes it work, whether it be 2 people, 7, 10, 20,
20.
25, 100, 1,000, 10,000.
And
The underlying principle is, that universal principle. And we think everybody operates from that principle. And obviously, as we could see, some people do, and then some people don't.
And here's the thing is, I think that some of that goes back to the unequal weight that friendships carry. So it's not going to be possible to be friends with everybody. But like the way the way I see it is, when I was in high school, I was friends with pretty much everybody from every kind of friend group. It was up to them if they didn't like each other to deal with that, because I'm not going to limit myself. But the more you could work together, the more you could be friends with different kinds of people, the more you can include instead of exclude, then you're going to have less. The idea is to have less friction problems. Like, it's kind of like creating a cohesive. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, to have 2 people in sync with one another based upon one idea or thought,
Right.
Is a very important thing, and it goes with conversations and how people communicate. When it comes to one idea or one thought, whether it's your thought or mine,
Right.
we can bring up a topic like tonight's topic is under friendship. And for folks to express what their definition of friendship is a very important aspect of truly understanding another person, how they see what a friendship is, what is the true meaning that they have about friendship versus another person, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a great conversation for folks to have, not just to say what comes out of your mouth. Well, I believe
Right.
friendships are this or friendships are that. So, okay, but is that your true meaning, of friendship? Is that your true
Yeah.
definition of friendship? Trust, honesty, reliability, loyalty, dependability, all these singularity words that people use to describe what they think a friendship is rather than what they feel a friendship
Right.
should be. Yeah, it's a big difference. It's a big
And
difference.
it's kind of like there's things I look for in friendships too. Like there's some stuff going on a little bit ago, and I was just staying out of it because I already knew who I like. When you already know somebody that's consistent and reliable, I just already knew who I believe, like, I knew him and I believed him, and he's always been consistent, and there was no drama. And then there was this other drama, and everybody was like, who are you going to go with? And I'm like, well, the person that I've known that's been reliable, like consistent and like non-dramatic or whatever.
Right.
But I do want to say, no matter who's there in supporting you, it's always important to support people back, because especially in the form of YouTube and different things, well, really anywhere, because I think things can get overlooked really easily and misconstrued. And
do you think that's due to complacency in friendship?
I think it's due to I think it's due to assumptions. I don't think people.
Okay, to assumption.
I think people assume way too much. I'm sorry, my cat's on the move again. It's assumptions, like even just something I could type, not necessarily here, but in comments and other places, that it could be assumed as something that's completely not what I'm saying. And it completely alters. Listen, like I would not say certain things. Okay, like for example, I go to the doctor's office and they do your blood pressure with the electronic thing, and I don't have high blood pressure, but they won't take for some reason they won't take my. Listen, Kitty, calm down. They won't take my blood pressure.
Tell the kitty that you're live. Tell the kitty that you're live. Give you at least 2 more minutes, okay?
She's like, I don't care. If they take my blood pressure with the machine, the automatic one, it always reads it higher, right? Well, they won't do me a favor. They won't verify my claim that it reads it high because I have normal blood pressure, right? But the automatic, I mean, the things that do it where you plug it in and everything, those read it high. But why would I lie about something like that? They just have to read it with a regular manual one, right? That's basically not believing me when I say something like that, and they won't even bother to verify what I'm saying as true. And there's just a lot of like little things that's hard to understand if we don't understand.
Right, but I think you hit the nail on the head when you use the word assumption. You know, people assume, that this word that we call friend or friendship is universally known to everyone. And hey, you do right by me, I'll do right by you. Kind of,
right.
Kind of place that most people feel comfortable saying. You do me wrong, I'm out.
But it's also okay to ask people what they meant by something.
There you go. Now you're getting it right there. See, it's okay to ask people what they meant, how they meant it,
right.
meaning, because hey, words have meaning. Words have meaning, and guess what? People do too.
Yes, and there's people of all kinds of walks. I'm sorry, my cat's crazy, but all walks of life. When I say something, it can sound completely different than somebody else. Listen, I went to volunteer to do Meals on Wheels, and this is how people are so jaded anymore. But they assume I wanted a meal instead of they assumed I wanted a meal delivered to me instead of delivering it to other people, volunteering my time. So it's just like we always come in with those ideas. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Does that make? I was like, I want to volunteer my time to deliver Meals on Wheels.
You're working the cat right now, so.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was like, okay, she's gone. Okay, what I was saying was that I was trying to volunteer, and I was like, I would like to help out Meals on Wheels when I first did this like years ago, and they thought I wanted meals delivered to me. And then when they realized I wanted to volunteer, they were like, what's your like aim?
Mm-hmm.
Internet going out.
I hear you. Pause there for a moment.
Basically, what I'm getting at is just that people are really jaded anymore too. And I have to have faith that there's good people out there. I know there are.
Yes.
And it's important to keep that alive because.
And that's where people have to now more so than ever, be mindful, be discernful, stay vigilant. And time is going to be the main tool, the essence of glue that's going to tell you the truth about your choice, tell you the truth about your choices, especially when it comes to interacting with other people under the terms of a friendship, an agreement, a contract, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
So, But no, I'm glad that you were able to jump up here and share
Yeah.
your thoughts with us and everything else like that. I'm gonna get ready to wrap it up. I wanted to just come up here for a little bit and just stretch out with my crew, with my team and everything. But it's good to see you.
You too. And like I said, I was really glad to see you on here because
Yeah.
I have been helping out on the other channel modding. And so I was like, oh no, I'm not getting my John Q time or Bossman because I've been over there doing a lot. So it was really good to see you live and touch base with everybody again because I feel like I could always come here and it's like I left off it picks up where I left off, if that makes sense.
Yes, yes. Well, we always have a recliner here at John Q's channel when we have a table talk, so you're always welcome. It's got your name on it anyway, so ain't nobody going to take your seat.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome, and have yourself a good evening.
You too.
And yeah, definitely great to see you.
You
Thanks
too.
so much for joining us.
Bye.
Hi, Leanne. Hope. Leanne is in the house. We got Valerie Joyner in the house. Valerie's in the house. Ra, the creator's in the house. I missed a lot of your names coming up in here. We're getting deep into a conversation regarding friendships and values and principles that hold these ideas, these thoughts in people's minds, especially when it comes to other people. But yeah, but it's great to have at least some thoughts shared about a topic that's not too discussed, really. And to have that discussion is one of the most important responsibilities we should all have and help others to have. That way we get better understanding. We're all different. We don't all come from the same cloth, so to speak, and we come from different time cycles, age groups, backgrounds, upbringings, education. I can go on and on. What's the universal thing that makes it work is having the understanding that we have the power to make the choice, and the choice is, it's our responsibility, always. But once you break your word, you break that cycle, you break that responsibility, yes, then it will be on you. It will be on you. You'll know for sure, because that's where the truth is going to lie, with you. Either it will teach you something about the next thing you do, or it will hinder you from something you require. It will teach you something that you need to do, or it will hinder you from something that you require. Very important. So, yeah. So no, this was good. I'm glad we got a chance to chime in and get some thoughts out there in the chat. You guys always put out these comments in the chat. It's definitely right on point. A lot of it right on point. Love, loyalty, integrity, respect, honesty, etc. Yes, all that comes with people's definitions, and all you got to do is, like, Boss always says, pay attention, watch, let it unfold. Don't try to get in the way of it. But if it calls you, address it. Address it. Be yourself when you do address it. Don't try to antagonize it. Don't try to aggravate it or agitate it. It should always be a learning experience, because once you know the answer, you'll know whether you're going forward or you're walking away. Truly, for you. And that's what we have to start having conversations about. Teaching our family, teaching our children, getting this back into instilled in this generation, because this generation, whether they call it Generation X and the millennials and cancel culture or whatever label they give it, you believe in those labels, you become the label. You believe in those labels, you become the label. No, God don't make junk. More powerful. Lives inside of every single one of us. Makes the mechanism work every day that we're here. So we just have to be better at it. Get better at it. Acknowledge it. Because once we do, then we liberate ourselves. Once we do, we liberate ourselves. Then we can share that liberation with other people. When the time comes, you don't jam it down anybody's throat, but when the time comes, and you'll know. It's so good to be heard and understood. It really is. Because when you are, you feel better. There's your peace of mind. And you hope the other person has that same peace of mind you acquired, you received. The only way to make sure is to wait for the next chapter, the next phone call, the next, hey, you want to go out? Hey, what you doing? But situations like what happened to Shanquella Robinson should never have happened. If it were true friendships, that should have never occurred. She should have came home like everybody else. It's unfortunate that that had occurred, because now it's telling a different truth about the people that she was associated with. See, they think they were running around hiding and nobody will see, nobody will hear, nobody will understand. No. You just shed more light on yourself than you realized because of what you failed to do. And that is, you failed to take responsibility for the friendship that you developed. That's what they did now. That's evident already. They fail to take responsibility. See, these young people, what, 20, 25, 26, 27, 22, 23, whatever. But those are the people, those are the next generation. That's the next generation that needs this kind of understanding. Right now, you just have to be careful. Young people have to be careful. You have to live life. Don't let life live you. Because we're always in control of what we think and what we do. We have to take responsibility of that always. And it doesn't come overnight. It has to be learned, earned, and realized. Because I myself, like I said, my background and upbringing, I went through a lot when it comes to friendships. Yeah, you learn, and another face comes about. Different person comes about. And their friendship is different than the last one that was left. Either way, you have to stay vigilant for yourself. That's the best way to protect yourself is the silent work that the mind can do, which is create thought. Because all thoughts are things. And they are incredibly powerful things when they're mixed with definiteness of purpose and the desire to take responsibility for them. Because once you get there, now you know what you're doing. You know what your vision picture is, the picture in your mind that you're following every day in your life. The one that you're looking to make better and eliminate all the fog from different places and different faces and different situations and circumstances. Because once you get that knowledge, you know. And when you know that you know that you know that you know, guess what? You know. Oh, I've had a great time. I was looking at the clock and I was like, oh man, it's 2:15 on the live already. Dang, oh, time flies. Felt like what, 15 minutes. But as easy as time comes, it goes out just the same. Goes out just the same. But much love to every single one of you for joining us for a special Table Talk live tonight. We're going to be covering, as I said before, the Shanquella Robinson case tomorrow night on 54 Keyz channel. You don't want to miss it. 7 p.m. Eastern time. That would put it at 4 o'clock Pacific, 5 o'clock Mountain, Central Mountain. But we're going to be on, and it's going to be good. The roundtable has been working in the background on this particular case, and we got a few thoughts we want to share with people. So if you're around at that time, great. Love to have you. And if you're not on time and you're kind of running late, get to the live anyway, And if you can't make it at all, you hit the replay, hit the like, support what we're doing. All of you support my channel. You keep it up and running. And sometimes, I'll get text messages or emails, when you going live? So you're giving me a little elbow to say, yo, John, love to hear your voice again. You going live tonight? Because this was a surprise for many of you. Say, wait a minute, Table Talk on Friday. Must be important. Oh, man. Yes, no, you're welcome, Leanne. You are so welcome. D Love, you are welcome too. This was dope. D Love said this was dope. Yes, Latoya Slater, thank you. Thank you, Miss Latoya. And all of you, thank you. As I said before, without you, there's no John Q. I wouldn't be doing this. I'd be living my life, obviously, and, do what I do to do what I do, but to be able to have a platform to share a good part of me, because that's really what I'm really doing. When you can do that and be able to be accepted for doing that, and in a way that people appreciate you for doing that. Now, nothing in return. I'm not out here selling stuff and, plastering, my panel or my background and, flying colors and all. No. Let's come to the table. Let's keep it straight. You like what you like, boom, you know where to go. You don't like what you don't like, guess where you will go? Someplace else. I mean, it's easy. That's just, principle. It's natural. It's natural. And if people learn how to be naturally themselves, naturally, then they won't bump into the unnatural too much because they can naturally handle it. So hopefully you can walk away tonight with something. I hope something, every live I do, I always try to put value into the lives that people can walk away. John Q said something last night, makes sense. Or John Q said something last night that didn't make sense, but made me think. He reminded me of something that I forgot. He gave me some food for thought. So don't forget to hit the like button. Let's get this out into the algorithm. And I will be back. I'm looking at Sunday. I think it's on my time schedule here. I'm looking at Sunday. And I think we'll try to do something special on Sunday. Once again on Table Talk. I'm going to bring it right back around the corner. Back on Sundays. And like I said, I was busy handling 2 cases. Well, actually 3. One was Daniel Robinson. I'm still working on that. Coming back around the corner. hoping to get Mr. Robinson, David Robinson, back on the panel so that he can give us an exclusive update on some of the new developments that have been happening regarding his son, Daniel Robinson, 25-year-old field geologist who went missing out of Buckeye, Arizona. Like I said, you go to work one day and you don't come home, there's something wrong. I don't have any Summer Wells updates up until there is an update. The California City Boys, well, we know that court trial is going to begin January next year from a recent postponement of the case trial. We look forward to giving you coverage on that, as well as there is a case that I am going to be doing a collaboration on with Mr. Boss Blake. It sent me email on it. Let me see if I can quickly, because he sent me a lot of email. That's one thing. Let's see. This was concerning the little boy, 7-year-old, who we got an update on. There was an arrest made. They arrest the parents in the state of Texas versus Jermaine Kidman Thomas. Capital murder charges. In regards, I got a lot of stuff here. Yeah, we only get some paperwork on that. So I think we can commence doing a special live, give some coverage on this particular case. We got some court documents on that. If anyone, while we're here, if anyone comes across any information about the autopsy report that I don't think has been made public yet, because I haven't found it, but if you do come across it, please email it to me on Shanquella Robinson, because we have a death certificate, which we will be going over tomorrow night. There's some things we want to address on it. Some very important things at that, pertaining to its processing. Because a lot of folks out there have been saying autopsy, 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 and I haven't seen it. And as soon as I turn around, they throw up the death certificate. And I said, that's not an autopsy, that's a death certificate. Rendering on it the alleged cause of death, or the possible cause of death. Yeah, so you don't want to miss that live tomorrow night. Let's see, where else are we going to go? Miss Carol Smith has been sending me updates on the Breonna Taylor case I have got to get to. And I am still following up on her case in regards to the 4 policemen that were indicted in her case. And one talked, fessed up. This was a conspiracy during the course of the incident that took place. And I've got to get to that load there. Obviously, we got the California City Boys out of California City. That's coming up in January. I was going to do a special live. I'm doing some work on a work creation called Parabellum. Y'all ever heard that word before, Parabellum? I started digging into some certain things about United States currency. And Parabellum talks about this thing here. Y'all know what that is, right? Yeah, let's see if this is real. Yep, that's real. They got the front and the back. But yes, doing some special work on that, and it pertains to these folks here. This is responsible for this thing here showing up at a certain time, and what this particular item or instrument, as they call it, is. And we're going to do a little bit of a series on this. I didn't know what to call it, so I called it parabellum. And in Latin, the word terminology that's used to describe what parabellum is that in order to have peace, you have to prepare for war. In order to have peace, you have to prepare for war. Hence the Latin definition of parabellum. What kind of war? Hence the reason for building and creating a series, how to protect yourself against certain things that this instrument is involved in. So yes, we'll be talking about that and much more. So yeah, Leanne, it says prepare for war in Latin. Yes. Yeah, Google it. Google it. You'll find the full definition. Now, the movie John Wick, Parabellum, implicates that in the physical sense. We're not looking for anything like that. He does a much better job than I would ever do in that kind of work. Now, this is for the individual education regarding this stuff here. And how to combat this to protect yourself economically, financially. Because once you understand what it is, then you'll understand what to do. Because these people are playing around with numbers these days that are causing food prices to go up, gas and oil prices to go up, everything to go up. At the turn of this year, you'll see what I'm talking about. Because the cost of living, the increase of the cost of living is going to skyrocket. Come January, folks, come January, when you have our country that is involved in overseas activities that involve military deployment and all this other stuff, it always pulls on our economy. And when situations like that occur that pull on our economy, well, somebody's got to pay for it. Somebody's got to pay for it. And we always seem to be the ones that get caught up in the middle of it. We always seem to be the ones that get caught up in the middle of it. Can we do anything about it? Yes, we can. But on a different level. Because they're operating on a different level. So we have to operate on a different level. I got to find my mouse now. Like it's here, but it's there. It's here. It's there. I hear it. Oh, boy. Okay. So hopefully I can find. Okay. Yeah, I've got it there. But it disappears when I put it back on there. Anyway, I will catch you on the next Table Talk. Looking forward to the series. Good. Yes, because once we're able to get definition, what the meaning of certain things are, especially in that department, we'll be able to know what to do to protect ourselves, hedge ourselves, from a lot of manipulation that's taking place on that right about now. But with that said, I got to try to see if I can get my windows done here. Hold on. All right, so if I can come out of here, maybe if I close this window. All right, so far so good. All right, I'm back. Okay, I got my mouse back. All right. Yeah, we can have a good discussion on that and others as we proceed. But y'all have a good weekend. God bless you all. Definitely. And we'll be back tomorrow night, 54 Keyz, doing a special round table on Shinquella Robinson. Don't want to miss it. But up until then, much love to every single one of you. And we'll be talking to you. Be well and stay blessed with Godspeed. I'll talk to you later.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you to John Q's Table Talk. Let's go. Here at Table Talk, everybody's opinions matter, because we only here for one reason, and that's the truth. Cue the truth. So many cases we've been facing, so many kids that have been taken. You got yours and you got on. Some of wells I just can't take it. Never see John hesitate. A hard to go you can't replace. So Table Talk gon' be the place where we break down all the basics. You don't need no reservation, open mind, a little face. That's why we work another case. Kids go missing every day. We know the news, they do they thing, but John gon' come through in the pain. But this is a show for all of us, so let us know just what you think. For Table Talk, it's time to go to work. Let the people know that John is going live. It's time for Table Talk.